Oh.
Everybody roast us in the comments.
Yeah.
What's up, Ottawa County? Welcome back to another episode of Ottawa Out Loud, the official podcast of Ottawa County. I'm your host, Scott, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for the fantastic reception of the first episode. I was very impressed with the numbers that it did, but most importantly, the positive feedback that I have heard so far. We actually had almost 400 viewers between YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I do remember saying 300,000, but 400 is a good start. We'll work our way up. You know, Mr. Burger wasn't built in a day. Obviously, we'd like to see that number grow a little bit, so make sure you are telling your friends, your family members who may be interested in this about it. Make sure you're sharing it online. Buy your grandma some AirPods if you need to. What's really cool here is not all of our listeners are in Ottawa County. We have listeners in Oregon, listeners in Florida, which actually makes a lot of sense, but check this out. Germany and Latvia. That's right. We have about 3 European listeners. If you're one of those 3, thank you. But also drop a comment down below explaining why. I'm just curious of why you're tuning in. One problem, though, everybody, we do have an issue when it comes to YouTube. And that's the fact that almost half of you watching right now aren't subscribed to the channel. That's a big deal because when new stuff comes out, I want to make sure you see it. And the only way to guarantee that is if you're subscribed. So if you're on YouTube right now, hit subscribe. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or one of those other services, just make sure you're following. That way it'll pop up every time we post a new episode. We have some announcements to talk through here today. I'm going to try to get through them quickly, but there are quite a few. So bear with me and listen carefully. Every single one of these announcements are going to have some kind of additional information or registration link that I'm going to be putting down in the description or in the show notes. First off is our Water Quality Forum. This is hosted by Water Resources Commissioner Joe Bush. We're all super excited about it. It is March 21st from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Pinnacle Center. That's 3330 Highland Drive in Hudsonville. The goal of this Water Quality Forum is for you to learn the latest updates on critical issues related to water quality and quantity, interact with exhibits from local vendors, and connect and network with colleagues and water quality professionals. So if you work in an industry where water quality or quantity matters, if you're concerned about the groundwater longevity of the county and what we're doing, this would be a great event for you to attend. Great news, it is totally free, but registration is required, so please register at the link below. Our Veteran Services Coffee and Donuts event is coming up this Friday, March 14th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. That is hosted at the 90, which is at 400 136th Avenue in Holland. These Veteran Services events are fantastic. It's a really great way to connect with other veterans and learn a lot about the different services that are available and have direct communication with the Veteran Services team to make sure that they're doing everything they can to connect people with the right services and offer the right services. So in addition, every time there's coffee and donuts, there's also a guest host who is there to particularly talk about certain resources. This one is going to be guest hosted by Canine Companions. They're one of the leaders in the service dog space, and they're there to talk about different options for veterans. Next up, from the Sheriff's Department, folks, it is downright scary out there. AI, social media, email phishing scams. You get a call saying that your nephew, who's 12 and has never even traveled before, just got caught stealing a chocolate bar in Liechtenstein and is being held there, a prisoner. And the only way that you can help, and you're the only one who can help, is by sending $500 in iTunes gift cards to this email address, which is totally legit. That sounds ridiculous, right? But I worked retail for quite a few years, and I kid you not, people fell for these scams. It's very easy to, and you never know when it's going to be you or a loved one. So whether you're 18 or 108, you will probably benefit from these financial scam seminars put on by the Ottawa County Sheriff's Department. There are 3 upcoming dates. March 18th at Quincy Place Senior Living, that's from 2 to 3 p.m. March 26th at Evergreen Commons, that's from 10 to 11 a.m. And then April 15th at Our Lady of the Lake at 7 p.m. No registration required, no costs, all good. Next up from the Department of Strategic Impact is Farming Forward. If you're a farmer who's concerned about the future of your land, check out Farming Forward. It's a free workshop that's partially supported by the Ottawa County Agricultural Preservation Board. It's going to talk about succession planning, agricultural conservation, and more topics for farmers and their families who want to see their farmland stay farmland for generations to come. It's March 26th at the Henze Center in Comstock Park. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Henze, not Comstock Park. Right next to Fire Station number 1, and that's going to go from 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Totally free. Registration is required, though. Link below. Our next full Board of Commissioners meeting is March 25th at 6:30 p.m. Note the time change there, 6:30 p.m. All right, we want to make sure that everyone has access to these meetings, and so having them at different times, alternating between the morning slot and the evening slot, gives people of all different work schedules the ability to tune into meetings if they would like to, or attend meetings to give public comment. As always, public is welcome. The meetings are right here at the Fillmore Building. That's 12220 Fillmore Street in West Olive. You're welcome to give public comment if there's something you'd like to say to the Board of Commissioners. You can do that either in person, or you can view or give public comment online. Our next standing committee meetings, that's the Finance and Administration Committee and then the Planning and Policy Committee. Those meetings are April 8th, starting at 9 a.m. I'm also going to be linking below the full meeting calendar that includes other boards and authorities and whatnot, because that is important and that's something you may be interested in. The Parks Commission, the Appointment and Alignment Committee, Brownfield Redevelopment, Insurance Authority, Materials Management, Veteran Services, CMH. There's a lot of different boards and authorities that you may be interested in. So I'll post the calendar for that as well in the show notes here. If you're not able to make it to a meeting, and maybe you don't even have time to watch it because maybe it's one of the long ones, we've had meetings anywhere from 30 minutes to 9 hours and 30 minutes. So what I do after each meeting, the day after usually, I will post a 2 to 3 minute long, really quick summary where I go through everything at a very high level overview. I do give some details about the particular agenda items, but I really just tell you whether things were passed or not. And that's nice because you can take 2 to 3 minutes to decide, okay, do I want to make time to watch the full meeting later on? Those are called meeting minutes. Again, they are posted the day after every single board meeting. And real quick, before we get into our main segment, I do just want to remind everyone, this podcast is designed to be as apolitical as possible. Obviously, we live in a world where politics is just sort of infused with everything else, so we're not going to be able to fully avoid things that involve politics. But my job is not to make my stances known overtly. We're really here to have positive conversations that help people and make this county a better place. So just keep that in mind as you're watching. Keep that in mind as you are leaving comments and talking to your friends about it. So great. Thanks. I hope you're excited. I hope you love the park system, because we've got a really great main segment for you here today. Okay, here they are. Are you guys ready? Yeah. You could totally not be ready, like if you don't want to be ready. Okay.
Here's the mic. Oh, do I get to start with the mic?
Yes.
We have our lovely guests here. We have Jess and Rylie from Parks. Jess and Rylie, tell us a little bit about yourselves and why you're on my podcast. What are you doing here? Who are you people?
As Scott said, Jessica Vangenhoven, the coordinator of community engagement. I am fortunate enough to work out of the Nature Education Center at Hemlock Crossing Park. I oversee programs at education and communication. I started with the county 10 years ago, which feels pretty wild to say, actually, in Rylie's position. We can get real deep soon, but I'll say right now working for Parks has changed my life, and I feel so fortunate. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to be.
I have been wondering how to pronounce your last name since day one.
Mm-hmm. Gin, not gin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I just wanted to hear it. I've always been like that with names. The thought of getting someone's name wrong just makes me want to melt into myself.
See, and with your last name, I'm like, it's Van something, which I feel like I can say because I'm also a Van.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Cool. Rylie?
I'm Rylie. I am the communications specialist. So I'm the person doing newsletters, press releases, emails. I'm the person who annoys you, hopefully not annoys you too much with all the exciting things we're doing. And I love working here. Grew up in Whitehall, which is right along Lake Michigan as well. It's a little more north from here, but anyways, that's enough of me. So
We're going to do some real quick fire questions. Every question will start with Jess and then immediately go to Riley. All right, quick. Favorite color?
Black.
periwinkle.
Oh, nice.
Okay, wow.
Know that.
Favorite restaurant in West Michigan?
Okay. That I go like most frequented?
The best one.
Best one. Oh my gosh. You know what? It's coming to the top of my mind. I love Turks and Unica. We go there all the time. Food is delicious. I love it there. They're super nice.
I'm going to say Toasted Pickle, Grand Haven. Shout out Mindy at the Nature Center. She put me on that, and all of you guys did, so it's amazing.
Okay. Mr. Burger was the correct answer there, unfortunately.
Okay.
but
Mr. Burger
that's
in
fine.
Allendale, and I hit that up a lot.
That is me too. That's the
Have you
only,
eaten breakfast?
not in a very long time. I'm just a lunch guy. That's the only restaurant that I know of that I can go to on my lunch break and make it back in time, and I wouldn't pick another one. Okay, anyway, favorite childhood TV show or movie, like all the nostalgia.
E.T. He was my invisible friend for a long time.
We're not going to go into that.
Mine is, my least favorite is E.T.
You didn't watch the part in the cornfield over and over?
In tears. I was petrified. Now E.T.'s grown on me. He's a little cutie. The Sandlot, because of my brother.
What's one non-job related thing that you're strangely knowledgeable about?
I do watercolors.
That's not job related.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
Watercolor
We can expand it to just general hobbies. Yeah. All right. Right.
parenting, I guess. I don't know. Legos.
We're allowed to say Harry Potter.
Oh,
Yeah, you're allowed to say Harry Potter.
yeah, that could be my
Yeah.
answer also.
Great. Anybody watching this knows that Ottawa County is known for its parks, and that's a really big part of what the county government does. But can you guys talk at all about the importance of parks to the county, maybe in more of a identity kind of way? How do parks shape the identity of the county?
We are very fortunate to live so close to freshwater, an amazing freshwater sources. Lake
Take that,
Michigan.
Arkansas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just incredible when you think about Lake Michigan and the Grand River. We're so fortunate. And then we're also in a really special place in Michigan called the transition zone. So that is where northern species and southern species kind of intermingle. So you can find different trees that you'd find up north. Hemlock trees have a broad range up north, but then you can find southern species trees like a tulip tree or a pawpaw tree, and you can find them in the same park. So it's pretty incredible. You know, it's hard to get past the dunes, but we're just super fortunate to live in such a diverse
Yeah.
area.
If you think about it, really only a few counties in Michigan even have the, privilege of being on the lakes, and to have, I think, and we'll probably talk about this later too, like the Grand River, that's the biggest river in Michigan, right?
Yep,
Okay. Longest.
Unlike everyone else in the Parks Department, I am not good at maps.
We're good at talking and we're good at graphic design.
Yes.
And email marketing, etc. Yeah, for sure. Well, that's cool. And I think one of the things too that in my experiences is really taking these natural spaces and preserving them. It's like if Ottawa County Parks isn't doing it, like who is?
Right. And yeah, we're again just fortunate that folks before us had the foresight to see the population in Ottawa County growing and respond to that by saying, all right, we need to preserve some of this land, protect some of this land, because we also know people move here because they like to go outside. And it's really important to many residents in the county.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I have pulled up here the vision statement for the parks. And the vision statement is to be a leader in creating a legacy of expansive, accessible, and biodiverse natural communities for all to enjoy. Rylie, what does that mean to you?
It's really to me about balancing all of those things because we want biodiversity, we want a wide range of species in our parks, but then we also want people to be able to access those spaces because it helps foster those connections with the natural world, and that's super important as we get closer to a more more technology-based society. Having those spaces where you can just be disconnected from everything and see the beautiful spaces we have here because it's important and it helps.
People need a space to get away.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I like what you said about the balance because, yeah, I would love it if the parks were just miles and miles and miles and miles, but then where do people live, right? And biodiverse, we're so eco-friendly that people aren't allowed in. Well, okay, that's not the best way to approach it. Or it's so incredibly accessible that we pave over all the natural communities. So I think balancing those three, that was a great. I like that answer here. One question I always like to ask on this podcast, through it's dozens of episodes that we've had so far. It's a tradition here to talk about funding a little bit. We don't worry you guys too much with the numbers. We'll do episodes with physical services and the treasurer later. Tell the people how and if their tax dollars are being spent in parks.
Sure. That's a great question, and one that there's a lot of misconceptions about. Parks is funded by a 10-year millage, which will be on the ballot in August 2026.
Mark your calendar.
Putting that out there. And that is kind of our main source of funding. But we take that and we do a lot with it. We're able to leverage that to get grants at the state level, at the federal level. We use that as match. I was just at another event talking about Ottawa Sands, which was an $11 million property that we don't have $11 million laying around, right? We were able to work out. Yeah, I wish, right? Property owner donated 25% of the value, and then we were able to get about $4 million 1 year and then $4 million the next year from the trust fund. So it's been incredible how far we've been able to stretch those tax dollars through grants. We actually don't get general fund money from the county. And then, oh gosh, I can't believe I almost forgot the Parks Foundation. The Parks Foundation is...
Can't forget the Parks Foundation.
You cannot. I'll
love them.
Definitely. We're incredibly grateful for their work. So, as we've expanded so much since our first millage, which was in '96, each year more and more goes to cover maintenance and operations versus acquisitions. And we don't want to miss out on things like Ottawa Sands because we don't have money. The foundation was formed as a separate 501c3 to help diversify our funding strategy. And, they've been instrumental in helping with the Grand River Greenway and getting that put together, the Idaho Explorers Trail. They're working on supporting the expansion of Rosie Mound right now and some major improvements at that park. Without them and their support, it would be different.
Yeah, they operate mostly on donations
Completely.
And good feelings.
Yes.
Right? Good vibes. Yeah.
And they made it so that folks could feel, a lot of people don't want to donate to government organizations.
Yeah,
right?
I wouldn't want to.
So it gives people an opportunity to still support the parks in a different.
Yeah, knowing, okay, this is going directly to something that I care about, that my kids and grandkids care about. Yeah, absolutely. We'll put a link to the Parks Foundation's website in the description or the show notes as well, so you can find ways to support, because there are opportunities.
They're also doing Art for the Parks in April. I don't have the date on the top of my head.
I can find it.
But that's with the Lakeshore Visual Arts Collective, and they get a 10% of all sales go to the Ottawa County Parks Foundation. So there's a lot of great pieces there. And if you want to head out to the Nature Center for that event, it's pretty lovely, I would say.
April 26th. I just found it. If you care about natural spaces, if you like to use parks, they don't just stay preserved because we want them to stay preserved. People have to actually do stuff, and that includes costs. So supporting financially, going to these events, just having a good time, but also to support a great cause. I can't think of a better way to spend my time. Personally, I also wanted to talk about volunteering because I know that's a big deal as well. So say I don't have any money, but I've got time like crazy, or maybe just a little bit of time. How can I still help support the parks?
We have a lot of different ways you can get involved with volunteering. We have a new thing called Service Saturdays. So every third Saturday of the month, there's an opportunity for you to come to one of our parks and do invasive species management, seed collection, seed processing, lots of different things. I know we have an Earth Day edition coming up. I think that is on April 19th. Choose which park is closest to you, head out there and stay as long as you want. We'll have the materials there. And then if you want like a different opportunity, you can just go to our volunteer page and fill out the application, I believe. And then Carly, our super awesome volunteer supervisor, will reach out to you with the opportunities and how to get you involved.
That link will also be in the show notes. Believe it or not. Yeah, we got links for days. Great. And I actually, when I was filming the Ottawa Sands documentary, I think I went along on 2 volunteer things. And it was really cool seeing just people go through, and one of them was an invasive. No, they were both invasive species. I don't remember what they were, but I could point both of the species out if we were somewhere where they were.
Like a thicker flower.
Yep. Spotted knapweed. Spotted knapweed, if you're watching this, watch out. We're coming after you. We got volunteers with gloves and boots, trash bags, and positive attitudes.
Did you join for a park stewards workday?
Oh, a third. That wasn't Ottawa Sands related, but it was Stearns Creek, I think. Yep.
So that's a more dedicated group. They meet every Friday.
Yeah, they're great.
And they're awesome.
Yeah.
They get to do all sorts of fun stuff.
Yes.
They get to
So,
work.
lots of ways to support if you're not able to support financially. Now that it's starting to get warmer out, what kind of things can people expect this year from Ottawa County Parks?
Well, most definitely by the time this airs, our spring program calendar and summer calendar will be live. So we have lots of stuff coming. Step It Up, the registration for that is now open. So if you haven't heard about that, you're hearing about it now, and it's awesome. It's an 8-week free walking program to get people out in the parks. If you're not comfortable going to a park by yourself, because everybody has different circumstances, you can join a group and go on a walk.
Like a loner. I get that. Yeah.
Well, if you're worried about getting lost, we always have a
loner.
or
looking like a
loner. There's always a leader and a caboose.
Wow.
So no one gets left behind.
Just like art class. Just like the hallway on the way to art. Nobody's getting left behind.
We also have some opportunities for vernal pool monitoring and just an awareness and art and action program, which is pretty cool.
I'm generally unaware of vernal pools.
Do you know what a vernal pool is?
I do because George told me,
Of course, George.
which is super cool. He's like the vernal pool guy. Yeah.
He's the rock guy and the astronomy guy and the native plants guy.
So they're seasonal wetlands. So they come around in the spring and they disappear by the summer. They have a lot of unique species, and there's not a lot of research on them. So that's part of why the Vernal Pool Patrol is so cool. We have people in the community getting involved doing like citizen research. So yeah,
Free bugs.
free bugs.
And, salamanders.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Little guys.
Yeah, little guys.
Uh,
Squishy guys that would get eaten by fish in a regular pond.
Yeah. The little guys economy is we're really starting to hit the peak.
That's what they say.
Yeah, that's what they say. The other big thing that we're likely to talk about, there's a new park that opened up in autumn of last year that many people probably haven't been to yet.
Are you talking about Ottawa Sands?
No.
Stop it. Don't do that to me on camera.
Ottawa Sands County Park. Tell us a little bit about it for those who are uninitiated.
Just came from a presentation talking all about that, and someone that I know helped put together this amazing documentary about, the acquisition and development of the park.
Like a David Attenborough.
Yeah, the
type
type,
deal,
David
yeah.
Attenborough type. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Ottawa Sands.
Dear. So it's just under 350 acres. It was an area that had been previously sand mined. We kind of looked at this property for a long time, and it really just felt like it wasn't doable. Again, it was $11 million property. The opportunity to buy it came up, and through a series of extremely fortunate occurrences, we were able to get it together and purchase this property. And then in about 2020, which was a super popular time to get everybody together and talk about things.
Yeah, in large numbers, very close together.
Yes,
Yeah, I remember.
It was time to do some master planning. So we got creative and did community engagement despite not being able to gather. So it was our first outdoor, actually, community engagement session, which was, you'd think we would do them all outside, but hey. So we got folks together and we learned about what they wanted, what they didn't want, which is very helpful too, and put a plan together that really balanced ecological enhancement and outdoor recreation, specifically accessibility as well. New lovely path around the lake, which if you went out there before October, it was loose sand previously. Very hard to walk around.
Good luck.
Yes, yes. So now it's a lot easier, especially if you've got wheels and need some extra movement support. There is a modern restroom there. Turns out people don't love what we call rustic toilets.
What a great spin.
Rebranding.
Did you come up with that, or is that just industry standard?
Well, we'll give it to the industry.
Okay.
There's a few different terms you can use. We like the rustic
toilet like that. That sounds like I almost want a rustic toilet until I figure out what a rustic toilet is.
Yeah, and then you're like, ooh, never mind.
A little edgy.
Yeah. Give me the modern stuff.
Yeah.
Embrace modernity.
So anyway, moving on. A very nice restroom situation.
I want to keep talking about the toilet.
I don't want to talk about the there's a lot of we joke, there's a lot of conversation that goes back to poo when you're talking about parks.
At the end of the day, it all sort of goes back to poo.
It's important. It's an important conversation. Yeah. We've got a universally accessible kayak launch in the Sag, which is a really interesting part of the Grand River where there is our birding friends really, really love it. There's a lot of different wetland species there. And then certainly the Idaho Explorers Camp, which we hope to get opened up in April. I know that's like the $1 million question everyone wants to know.
Opened up for reservations or opened up?
Open up for reservations.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Okay.
Yes, so tree houses, yurts, tent sites, something a little bit different. What we heard from the community was they did not want an RV campground with a pool. And so, we thought about what can we do that's a little bit different, not take up too much space. And then I also want to plug that everywhere that we've developed within the park was mined. So if it was not mined and it was still in its natural state, we didn't touch it.
I somehow did not know that. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was, we felt like we struck a really good balance. And then certainly there was a large amount of ecological restoration that happened out there, from changing the lake shore, that inland lake, to be more beneficial for wildlife. So hopefully it will become a better fishery, a stronger fishery.
The littoral zone?
Yes.
Or so.
I wasn't going to use that.
Or so I surmise. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, good job. Very impressive. There's, if you go visit and do the walk around the lake, there actually is a full story as you go about all the different ecological restoration there. And it's a complicated story. And I think what we always try to do too, it's really easy to say, like, leave nature be, leave it alone, let it do its own thing. And the reality is, and I'm like putting my natural resources hat on now, is human intervention can be really positive, and to recreate some of these lost ecosystems. So there's interdunal wetlands at Ottawa Sands. Those weren't just going to come back out of nowhere. Having that human intervention and that support is what got it to that point.
And if your interest has been piqued, talking about all this ecology stuff, There is a longer form explanation going a bit more in depth, not only into the ecology is definitely mentioned quite a bit and divulged upon quite a bit, but also the whole story behind it that we were talking about. What's that called?
The Ottawa Sands Project.
The Ottawa Sands Project, released in 2025, directed by Scott Vandenberg.
Scott's on a lot of credits.
Director of photography, Scott Vandenberg. Editor, Scott Vandenberg. Sound design, Scott Vandenberg. You guys got producer credits. So that full film, it's about 25 minutes or so, including the credits. It's a really great watch. In my opinion, I'm biased, but that's what I've been spending the last 8 months working on that. And I think it does a great job of explaining how it all came to be, more so maybe the why behind it all. And I would encourage you to take an evening and check that out.
I mean, it tells the story. It tells a complicated story. I'm sure, again, just like maybe most people don't think about how things are funded. How do parks get made, right? Like, what's the process to that? So just a lot of heart. And I think that the film really captures that. Like I said, just coming off of a presentation of that and lots of oohs and ahs and, oh my goodness, this videography is so good.
Drone footage, really.
Yeah.
It's the cheat code.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, great. Yeah. So check that out. It's on the main Ottawa County YouTube channel. It's on the Parks YouTube channel. So back on the topic of our parks, our lovely parks here, just maybe some rules and reminders. What should people remember that maybe they don't think about?
So I would say one of the biggest questions we get is about dogs. And if you aren't hanging out on the My Ottawa website, we just got a facelift. Our website is looking great. And we actually have a Find a Park button that has a whole filter section about dogs.
Nice.
Dogs on leash, dogs off leash, dogs on leash seasonally, no dogs. Just make sure you're respectful of other park goers.
Yeah.
And it's a little too cool to be thinking about it now, but in the next couple months, remember that our tick friends will come back out and that they're really, really small in early spring. I like to keep a lint roller in my car, and when I get done hiking, I just roll off, because if they're not embedded, they'll just come right off on the sticky.
Easy. Nice.
It's a nice little hack.
We're getting close to Memorial Day weekend, which is the motor vehicle permit season. So we have motor vehicle permits at 8 of our properties along the lakeshore and then Riverside boat launch. I would recommend all Ottawa County residents purchase their permits either online or at the nature center, because then they will get their discounts. So we have resident discounts and we have senior discounts, and unfortunately you cannot get those at the pay stations on site. So
anything else that you want people to know?
Not taking plants from the parks. We get some questions about that, but it's really important to have them there, because then when we have the seeds, they distribute back into the park system, whereas if they're taken, then the seeds aren't going back into our parks. They're going wherever you take them to. So that's really important. So we just...
What about the bugs?
The bugs.
Can I take the bugs? Bugs and other little guys. Don't take the little guys out of the park.
Little guys are important.
Oh, I have something. Stop bringing your little dogs into the big dog area of Grand Ravines. And more importantly, if you're the guy that like 3 years ago brought his cat into the big dog area of Grand Ravines, no leash, no collar, nothing, that was not a good idea. My dog didn't do anything, but we had to leave because of you. And I'm mad. And okay.
So Scott, I have to...
I hope you're doing better.
It is the big dog area is the all dog area. So it's actually the other. You can't bring your big dogs into the small dog area, but you can bring your small dog into the
understandable.
But the cat issue.
I'm vindicated on the cat thing. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Give me that.
Okay.
But speaking of the dog stuff, though, I feel like it's especially important to have them on leashes in the parking lot, and that's especially when they're leaving the dog park, that can become a thing.
And the Grand Ravines is not specifically just a dog park. It's also, there's a hiking trail, and not everyone there is there for dog-related activities.
I'm gonna bring it back to poo. Oh, thank
It
you.
always comes back to poo.
Listen, I'm telling you, pick it up. Don't leave it, please.
Yeah, don't.
No one wants to see it or step in it. Just pick it up.
Yeah, there's no excuse. Are there any hidden gem parks that like have a special?
Yeah, we can't tell you them. They stay hidden for a reason. North Ottawa Dunes is lovely, amazing. You go up and you can overlook, or there's an overlook for viewing Lake Michigan.
One of my favorite family traditions is Eastmanville Bayou on Mother's Day. We go out, we have a very beautiful and large stand of blooming Virginia bluebells. So if you are headed east on the trail and the trail ends, and then there's a little creek, you go over that creek, you keep walking, and then all of a sudden it's just like the sea of blue and purple. Cool. It's absolutely stunning.
What are like one or two of the programs that you guys think are like, wow, people should really be checking this out more?
We have a lot of programs, so I'll say that. We won't get into all of them. And if you've liked any of the like ecological nerding out that we've done, there's a variety of topics, but we love spring to talk about bald eagles. So there's a bald eagle's nest at Grand Ravines. The nesting pair have been there for a number of years, and it's great in the spring to view them because the trees haven't leafed out yet. And then if you want to learn more, we've talked a little bit about those wildflowers, the spring ephemerals. We'll be doing wildflower walks, offering some of those in the evening now. You know, we did a lot of them on the weekends, but now if you want to catch them after work, that's a possibility too. And then another thing that we're doing that's new is Sunday stroll. So every Sunday at Hemlock Crossing, you can count on a guided walk, and we'll talk about just kind of whatever is going on in the park at that time, what's blooming, or projects. Just bring your questions.
I'm thinking now of the summer camps, which isn't spring, but that's something new we're having.
Think about.
Yeah, because our spring break camp did fill up, so those spots do go quickly. And this summer we're doing a weekly camp. There is, I think, the younger group is at Hager and the older group is at Grand River Park.
So also, if you don't mind me interjecting here, serve as a daycare replacement, which is new for us. We worked with the state of Michigan to be licensed to be able to do camps. You know, we know that there is a growing need for summer care, and we wanted to be able to provide that to the community. So
yeah, because part of accessibility is ramps and paths and sidewalks and everything, but part of accessibility is, can you afford to take a whole day off of work just so your kid can go to a program?
Absolutely.
And now it's something where you don't necessarily need to do that. That's so cool. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I will definitely have a link to the calendar with all these different programs on it. One thing to know, a lot of these are really popular programs. So sign up as soon as you know that you're interested, because I would hate for you to be interested and then find out that signups are over. So in addition to the variety of programs that we got going on, I've heard that there is a challenge of sorts. Yes or no?
Correct.
All right, cool. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we do have a park challenge that we launched this year. So it is the challenge to essentially visit all or as many parks and open spaces in our county park system. It depends on what you count. So if you visit 20 or more parks, you would get to choose between a patch or a decal. And then if you do 30 plus parks, you would get to choose between those two options and then also get an entry into the grand prize. And then if you do 40 plus parks, which is a lot of dedication, some of these properties can only be reached by kayak or boat because there's not, how that works with water.
Generally.
So then they would get 2 entries to the grand prize, which is an exclusive park trip. So you can pick. I would encourage you to go to the website at miottawa.org/parks challenge with an S. There's you can have a private viewing at the observatory, guided hike.
Take a group out on the Gabagawache canoe, which is a replica of a North canoe. So it fits 12 people.
It is funded by our best friends, the Ottawa County Parks Foundation. They have a health and wellness initiative, which also funds Step It Up. So they're awesome.
Sweet. We have one more segment for you.
You're making me nervous. There's props, party hats.
Party hats.
Right? No.
Do
Not
you have a frog in there?
It's just an owl.
Welcome to Ottawa Out Loud's very first game show segment. This is the Name That Parks Challenge. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an image. It's from one of our parks. Your job is to guess which park it is. Ready? Let's see your answers. Okay, that is Upper Macatawa Natural Area. Oh.
You're going to have to cut that out. Man, I was confidently.
I saw what you were and I was
that.
like, what?
I don't know. Oh, shoot.
Everybody roast us in the comments.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, score is 0-0.
This is rough.
Score is 0-0, unfortunately. 2.
I know where that is.
Put your markers down. Okay, sorry. Stearns Creek. Jess, what did you say? Turn it around.
It looks like a shot of the Grand River from Grand Ravines.
It also looks like Stearns Creek, to be fair. These are all from the park's Flickr page that you guys probably.
I've all seen these photos 1 million
This
times.
is your
This is really.
repository of pictures to post online. So I thought, okay, 0-0. I did start out with a couple of tough ones. All right, number 3.
Scared.
Turn them around. Ooh, bummer. No, I'm kidding. That's Rosie.
I was like, I will absolutely flip
Neither
this
of you
chair.
said natural area.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll give it to you. Okay, score is 1-1. Let's see what we got for number 4 here. Whew. All right. Hey, Pigeon Creek Park. Fantastic. Score is now 2-2. Number 5. Just turn them around when you're done. Yeah, Hemlock Crossing Park.
Also home to our observatory.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing ever. I didn't know that existed. That's pretty new, right? That's only within the last couple of years. Yeah. All right, number 6. Man, I said there was a couple of easy ones. What was I doing? I think I had a moment of mercy. All right. Yeah. Grand Ravines. Next one, number 7. Flip them. Woo! All right.
Weird to see it in the winter.
Yeah, I wanted to mix it up with the seasons a little bit. And here's number 8. Your time starts now. Ish. All right. Number 9. This is possibly a tough one. 5. 3. 2. 1. Are you ready? Flip them. Crockery Creek. Oh, and you got natural area.
But you don't.
I don't. Yeah, that's on me.
He gets 2 points, I guess.
Okay, Crockery Creek. Wow. All right, number 10. This is a tough one. What a shot, too.
In the back.
No, up top. Yeah, that's Ottawa Sands County Park. We all know Ottawa Sands County Park here.
We talked about volunteers earlier. All those photos on our Flickr page were taken by a volunteer photographer who has since passed away. I miss him dearly, Mike Lozon. So just one of the many ways you can contribute to parks.
Yeah, shout out. You are tied.
Okay.
There is.
Oh, there's a tiebreaker.
There is a tiebreaker.
Okay.
What year was the Ottawa County Parks Commission formed? This is a bad tiebreaker because.
That's 1987. I was trying to be fast.
Stupid. All right. Well, it is 1987. Absolutely correct. Are you guys ready for your prizes?
Yeah.
All right. Here they are.
What? Oh,
Your very own little guys.
so cute. I love it so much.
I'm so glad that I was able to give you both them because you tied and I didn't have to withhold one of them.
That's good.
All right, everyone, that's going to do it for us here at Ottawa Out Loud. Thanks so much for listening, watching, whatever it may be. Please make sure that you're on YouTube. If you like, if you subscribe, if you drop down a comment, because remember, we opened up the comment section just for you.
Please don't roast us, though. You can roast Scott.
A light roast. If you're on Spotify, you can leave a 5-star-ish review, or I think you can leave comments now, which is kind of cool. Apple Podcasts has a follow and review system, but also we have fan mail. There'll be a link in the description if you want to send us a written message, or SpeakPipe if you'd like to send us a voicemail. If it's cool and interesting and not hateful or abusive, we may even play it on the show, which would be sweet. And remember, knowledge is power, and local government works best when you're a part of it. Thanks for watching. Text me when you get home.